Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. And, of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the first, it's all AEW today. So we got AEW Dynamite that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
We've got the Young Bucks and their first public comments since their suspension. And first, we've got a rumor killer on the WWE Undisputed reunion that was rumored to have been attempted by Bobby Fish.
Yes.
Robert
by Bob
Piscato.
Fish. Yes, Bob Fish. So back on Monday's show, Monday, we talked about a report from Wrestling Observer's Ryan Frederick that Bobby Fish had asked Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly to ask for their releases from AEW so they could all go back to WWE, I would assume, Undisputed Era.
Yeah, oh yeah. People love them.
Oh yeah. How could you not? On the most recent episode of the Undisputed podcast, Fish addressed these rumors, saying the following, and these transcripts come to you from Cage Side Seats. Quote, guess what, boys? After over 25 years or something like that in the wrestling business, I don't know how contracts work myself. Laughs. Ha, ha, ha.
Ha, 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 ha. I'm funny.
Yeah, I guess that was the most troublesome and amusing at the same time to me was how many outlets picked up on what was, because if there's anybody who knows that it's totally fabricated information, it'd be me, Adam, Kyle, Hunter, Triple H. Like the people that they're talking about who don't do any of those things. So none of it's real.
Didn't do any of those things.
Oh, sorry. What did I say? Don't do?
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't do any of those things. So none of it's real. Even people like Jim Cornette picked up on it and commented on it. Jim and I have always had a great relationship. If I'm being honest, Jim hurt my feelings a little bit by believing some bullshit about me so easily. But it is what it is. And I think that's what sucks the most about it. Is that the people that write this stuff, there's no checks and balances, there's no ramifications when you are in the wrong. Therefore, they continue to just write whatever it is that they're going to write, and it gets picked up by whomever, and then, the fact or fiction line really doesn't matter. So the whole thing is absurd.
Oh, man.
There's more, but we don't need to get into that. Fish wasn't the only one who debunked that report from Ryan Frederick. Fightful Select reported that sources within AEW vehemently denied there's any truth to the rumor, and WWE sources told Fightful that there, quote, haven't been any talks between Bobby Fish and the company.
Well, there you have it. Rumor killed.
Debunked.
Debunked.
Like they do on Ghost Adventures. Stamp it. Debunked.
Yeah, debunked. This myth has been busted, Larson.
Yes, it has been busted.
What did you say earlier today? Not a good couple weeks for the dirt sheets.
Yeah, it's been a rough couple of weeks for the dirt sheets,
Yeah, but
with the exception of Fightful is, they're top tier.
Man, we've said this for a long time. Fightful, they're the go-to. They really are. Sean does good work over there. Does great work over there. Excellent. Not just good, excellent work.
Excellent.
So yeah. I mean, that is kind of silly to think, hey guys, let's go reform the Undisputed. Let's get the band back together over there in WWE land. It's a new land of opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, they're all signed until 2036 or whatever.
Yeah, I know. They got 10-year deals, all of them. So Oz Undisputed Era making any sort of reunion WWE is gonna have to wait until the 2030s to have any chance. Right.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna be in their early 40s at that time.
Exactly.
So yeah. Good for Bobby Fish for landing an Impact though.
Yeah.
Dude, he's the guy. He kicked out of the GTS. He did it.
He did, but
not a lot of people. Not a lot of people can claim that one. Man, that dude did that at 2.9. That ref just knew what he was doing.
He was ready. He was ready to kick out right then.
That dude,
those legs were coming up.
That ref
kick.
Hey, that ref's hand hit the mat after that dude's shoulder was up. He kicked out. Whether you want to think it or not, go back. Hey, maybe on SmackDown tomorrow we'll review the tape on that.
We can do a frame
one.
by frame Zapruder film type thing with
yes.
Did Bob Fish kick out of the GTS. Let's talk about this real quick. So the Young Bucks had a sneaker collaboration with Diadora that dropped today. And it sold out pretty quick, I think with a matter of a few hours. And Matt Jackson spoke publicly for the first time. Says, brawl out, scrum gate, Muffin Mania.
Oh, yeah.
Any other new names now?
Oh, no. I'm sure I can come up with one. What was the name of that place? Mindy's? Was that the bakery?
Yeah.
Man. The Mindycade. I don't know. It's like Starcade, but Mindycade.
All right. Okay. So Matt Jackson.
Put me on the spot, man. What do you expect?
Well, I mean, you're the sharp, clever one between the two of us.
Tired. I'm old.
The Gripe Bomb. I've heard that one too.
Oh, yeah, the Gripe Bomb. That's a really good one.
Thank you, E-Dub. So anyways, Matt Jackson took to Instagram to thank the fans, saying, quote, "Thank you so much, guys, for everything in the last 18 years. You guys have supported us and been so great to us, and I really can't wait to see you guys very soon. Thanks."
Oh, that's cool. When is that? Next week?
I mean, very soon is kind of a nebulous concept.
Yeah, right. It could be like next year. Or
it's not like few, which is like around 5, or a couple, which is around 2. Nebulous.
Hey, I like that you've nailed down couple and you've nailed down few.
Several, like 6 or more.
It always tripped me out when people would consider couple 3. I don't like that. A couple is 2.
Yeah.
What do you think they call 2 people in love? They call them a couple.
It's a couple.
Yeah, like us. We're a couple of idiots.
Yeah. See, 2 of us. We know that much at least.
Lars, let me ask you. Number one, I want to say this to everybody in Florida right now. We mentioned during the pre-show, but to all the listeners out there, to all the friendos out there who might be listening to this, if you're in Florida, please be safe, best you can. Our hearts are with you here from Going in Raw.
Definitely.
Good Lord, that is a gnarly hurricane that's passing through there. So anyways, let's talk about AEW Dynamite.
Yes.
It was a Dynamite. Saraya, where do you want to start with this? What was the biggest thing that happened tonight? I
think it was
Saraya, right? Saraya. God damn. Them mentioning it so much now has me messed up. Saraya. Paige.
Saraya. Anyways, so top of the second hour.
Yeah.
She comes to the ring, drop promo. And says she's there in AEW to change the division. She is the Revolution.
Yeah.
And so she says, hey, women's locker room, come to the ring. And so I think there was about 5 faces. There was Tony,
Madison Rain,
Sky Blue,
Athena,
and Willow.
Yeah.
They come to the ring first. And eventually Britt leads herself, Penelope Ford, Rebel, Jamie Hayter. Down to ringside.
Yeah.
And so there's some back and forth between Saraya and Britt. But I know there's been some discussion in here in chat, and I saw some on social media as well, about what role is Saraya going to have in AEW. Now, last we heard, she hadn't been cleared to wrestle. What she kind of did tonight was kind of GM type thing, kind of.
Yeah, no, I don't know if there's a title for it necessarily, but it seemed like she was. Was she the one who said, "Hey, we're gonna make this a lumberjack match," or is that what she had to get permission from Tony to do?
That's what she had to get permission from Tony to do.
Okay, I feel like she's sort of gonna be like, hey, sort of like the creative director maybe of the women's division, but in kayfabe. She's the one who's going to be leading this. Hey, we're going to be focusing on women's wrestling, and I'm going to be the one who knows about this. And so at least within the universe or the galaxy of AEW, whatever you want to call it, within the stories of AEW, she's going to be the one with, who's focusing on this stuff until whenever she is ready to or cleared to wrestle, and then they'll use her in that manner. I think that, look, regardless, I know that Fightful Select had a story about the, her deal being a fairly significant one monetarily speaking, but also with implying the deal apparently would sort of imply that she at some point would wrestle, assuming that she's cleared. Yeah. And that's, I guess, the goal. I know it's been her goal for a while. She stated as such. But even if she can't, even if she never gets cleared, I think this is a good role for her. Now, here's the thing. If they continue to only book a single woman's match per Dynamite, if they continue to devote the same amount of time on the show to the women's division, this will mean nothing. It'll be a McMahon shakeup. That's the first thing I thought of when she said, things are going to change right now. Well, I need to see it before. And this is my main problem with this segment, is that it was a little on the clunky side, whatever. I don't really care. If you had started your show with this, if Saraya was the first person to come out, say there's a revolution happening here. So time-wise, she started talking, I think, around 6:08. I don't know why I looked at my phone at the time, but I did. And it said 6:08. The match concluded at 6:28. So all told, there was about 20 minutes of women's division going on the show, which some Dynamites feature more, some Dynamites feature significantly less. So it's sort of in the middle of that. I mean, sometimes the women's division will main event a Dynamite.
Yeah.
Or a Rampage. That happens, it's not rare for that to happen. If they had kicked off the show with this segment, and by the time you're done with it, it's almost taken up that first half hour of the show, that kind of means something. It's like, wow, that's significant right there. But to put it in virtually the same time slot that it usually gets, to me, it doesn't say that anything is going to change. If it does, great. And I'm along for the ride because that's what I want to see. Yeah. I hope this isn't just words, and I hope this isn't just Tony saying, hey, we need to make it look like we're going to do better with our women's division. So can you just say that you're going to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I did like the match tonight. I thought the match between Toni Storm and Serena Deeb was really good.
That friggin' avalanche.
That finish was crazy.
Oh my God.
And it seemed like they were just told, hey, go out there and put on a hell of a show. Put on a great match. That's the first time I've seen Toni Storm bust out a second rope pile driver at AEW.
Well, you get Toni Storm and Serena Deeb in a ring together, man. They're going to put on a great match regardless.
Oh yeah,
they're phenomenal wrestlers. But big picture, if we start getting Dynamites on the regular with a larger amount of time devoted to the women's division, more matches per Dynamite, then great. I'm totally into it. But if there's one thing Vince McMahon taught me is I ain't gonna believe it till I see it.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. So I guess Chris Jericho was kind of he was the bookends of the show because it opened up with a pizza party celebration with Luigi Primo there. And closed with Jericho defending the Ring of Honor Championship against Bandito in the main event. He's really upped his game, Jericho, that is, these last few months.
He really has.
It's had a bit of a career renaissance. He's always been a master of reinvention, and this is just another example of that. Even within the sports entertainer thing he has going now with JAS, even within that, he's found a new wrinkle, saying, I'm the most honorable person in AEW. Even though he is not. He cheats to win every time, and that's the humor of it.
Oh, it's great.
And so it's interesting to see him. And I don't know if we've seen any reports to this effect, but it seems as if, hey, we'll put the Ring of Honor title on you, Chris, because it could tell a good story with Daniel Garcia and Bryan Danielson, but also we're trying to get a TV deal for this show. So we'll put the belt on you because, hey, people will tune in to watch Chris Jericho wrestle.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising to me that they wouldn't. I mean, I don't know what the costs are involved with running another Ring of Honor show, but I'm kind of surprised. I mean, their last one did. God, I want to say it was I think Tony Khan said it was like 40,000 buys, maybe 50,000 buys. I think it was. I want to say it was like between 40 and 50,000 buys, and like the expectation was like 10 or something like that. The Death Before Dishonor one. So like you would think with that kind of pay-per-view revenue coming in, that it wouldn't be too costly to put on another pay-per-view. And I mean, wouldn't you want Jericho versus Danielson to headline that?
I know.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe contractually speaking, getting Danielson and Jericho to do a Ring of Honor pay-per-view. I don't know. Maybe there's something weird there. You would think that they're under AEW's contract. AEW owns Ring of Honor. They just put them on the show. I don't know how that works, but because I'm
either.
trying to think of reasons why they wouldn't do another show, because the last one did garner quite a bit of buzz. Now, maybe it wasn't.
That was in July, right?
Yeah. August, September.
Maybe they're just waiting until Final Battle at the end of the year.
That could be like a whole, 5 months between shows?
Maybe, because one prior to July was April.
Yeah. And then maybe, hey, you know what? Maybe the idea is we're going to do Jericho on his quest to sort of dismantle the myth of Ring of Honor, and then at the next show will be when the title changes hands and it's back into the hands of somebody. It should be Garcia, by the way.
Yeah, it should be Garcia.
It should be Garcia that beats him for that title. If Jericho runs through, if he beats Danielson because of cheating, if he beats Samoa Joe because of cheating, Dalton Castle, a couple others, and then he ends up, going to, Ring of Honor pay-per-view and losing it to Garcia. That it's the best story AEW has right now, this Jericho stuff. And that's one reason. Not only is he putting on these phenomenal matches, I mean, if this was if his entire year, if he keeps up this way, and the window of the year for whatever we judge our stuff on was like 2-3 months ago, and then a year from then he'd get Wrestler of the Year.
Pro Wrestling Illustrated,
the weird, the July to July or whatever. He because he's doing such good work. He's like really carrying the ball there in AEW. And Garcia, he has elevated Garcia's game. Everything Garcia did tonight was absolute gold. Like he is great. Luigi Primo's killer too, dude. Those faces he makes. You can't look away from the guy.
Yeah, I know. I know.
All right, let's take a quick break here to get a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Larson.
What's that, Steve?
More professional athletes are speaking out about the importance of mental health these days, and we've seen several top stars take time away to tend to their own mental well-being. But pro athletes aren't the only ones who need to take care of their mental health. And therapy is the best way for anybody to stay in peak mental shape.
Yeah, I've been there before myself. There was a point in my life about 20 years ago where I was dealing with severe anxiety, and I realized that I needed to go to therapy. But back then, finding the right therapist was tough, and it took me a while. But once I found a therapist I felt comfortable talking to, I started gaining the tools necessary to better deal with my anxiety. Now, BetterHelp is a great option because it makes the process of finding a therapist much more convenient and accessible. The whole process is done online, so you don't even have to leave your house. And all you got to do to get connected with a therapist is fill out a quick survey. Plus, you can switch therapists at any time.
So when you're ready to feel at the top of your mental health game, therapy can get you there. Visit BetterHelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
So showing up with Jericho Appreciation Society Championship Celebration is a pizza party. Luigi Primo, as mentioned, was there. He was spitting some dough off in the corner. Parker tells crowd to appreciate him. He says there's one thing we all know about this town. They're in Philadelphia. Philly's a city of losers. Philly isn't used to celebrating winners, but we're here to give you that. So get out of your seats to celebrate the Ocho. And then Daddy Magic says, I put in the call the pizza guy. And then Menard asked Luigi what kind of pizza he made. And Luigi said, what, Steve?
Yeah, thank you. I want to do this one. I'm making the best pizza from New York.
Yeah. But then Menard tells the crowd, none of you are getting pizza.
Oh.
And Anna Jay echoes that, says, none of you are getting any pizza. The crowd's chanting, we want pizza. She threatens to choke them all out. But she says, you are getting the greatest Ring of Honor champion of all time, the Ocho, Chris Jericho. So the Ocho, Jericho takes the mic.
I love that he's got the Ocho in his lower as well.
Yeah.
That made me laugh.
Asked the crowd if they want pizza, and of course they do. He says, can't have any. What they can have is the most important Ring of Honor champion in history. Everyone knows I'm the most honorable man AEW. I'm also the most viewed Ring of Honor champ. My title win has more views than all the other title wins Ring of Honor history combined, because no one knows about Ring of Honor, but you're about to. I'm about to change the way Ring of Honor is remembered. It's now Ring of Jericho, and it starts tonight against Bandito. It says Bandito never got a rematch for the title that he deserved, but I'm a pro wrestler. Sorry, but he is the pro wrestler, and I'm a sports entertainer. And sports entertainers beat pro wrestlers every time. Speaking of a pro wrestler, turns to Garcia, says Ring of Honor pure champ Danny Garcia. We've had some issues, but you're an amazing champ, an amazing sports entertainer, and I have a gift for you. So he hands Garcia the gift.
Yeah, and so Garcia opens it very hesitantly. And what Garcia, this is a really underrated thing, and it kind of reminds me in a very nerdy way of how Christopher Reeve used to carry himself as Clark Kent. What would he do with his posture? He'd have a little hunch. You know? Yeah. Garcia was doing that tonight.
Yeah.
And it was great body language. So he very slowly opens up this thing. He has no desire to do it, and it's a purple bucket hat. And Jericho says, look, and Jericho gets it, and he puts it on him real deep so that he looks like a Peanuts character. And he says, this is the look of the best technical sports entertainer of all time. So much to the delight of the crowd, Garcia takes the bucket hat off, throws it to the mat. Luigi's still there, twirling his pizza, making funny faces. Garcia lays him out. Mind you, Luigi is just down the rest of the segment.
Yeah, he is.
So he completely kills Luigi Primo. So Garcia says, look, this isn't enough. This isn't me. I've tolerated this for a little bit, but I think I finally had enough. And I'm going to tell you something, Chris, that I've been meaning to get off my chest. He says, I think it's time for me. And then Jericho puts his hand over the mic. And he tells Garcia, I really want you to think about what you're going to say. He says, I know this is a crossroads for you, so make the right decision. He says, if you make the wrong decision, I'll have to take you out. I'm going to ask you once, and I want you to answer it properly. Are you a sports entertainer or are you a pro wrestler? So Garcia stares at Jericho. He starts to bring the mic up. Of course, the crowd's all, you're a wrestler.
Yeah.
He starts to bring the mic up. Bryan Danielson's music hits. He comes to the ring. He picks up the bucket hat. He says, Garcia, it seems like Jericho is trying to tell you what you think he should be. He says, man, I have infinite respect for you. You can do what you want. You can stay with the Jericho Appreciation Society. You can come with the Blackpool Combat Club. You can team with them or you can team with us. You can train with them. You can train with us. You can do whatever you want. Jericho cuts him off and says, shut your mouth, Danielson. He says, I'm sick of you trying to poach my guy. Garcia belongs to me. He does what I tell him to do. Garcia knocks the mic out of Jericho's hand, says, hey, look, and he gets his big voice. He gets his big boy voice. He says, I don't belong to you, and I don't do what you tell me to do. He says, but we're taking it too serious here right now. We're supposed to be entertaining. What if I start throwing this pizza down on the floor? Would that be entertaining? He grabs a box of pizza, he throws it to the ground, like to the floor. Yeah. He says, what if I wake up Luigi Primo and start throwing pizza with him? Some pizza dough. He says, what if I start a tag team with Justin Roberts? Hey, Justin Roberts, would that be entertaining if we start a tag team together? The crowd's going crazy for this shit. Yeah. And then he says, what if I start a tag team with Bryan Danielson? Oh, the crowd loses it on this one. He says, you know what I think would be entertaining? If I teamed with Danielson against you, Jericho, and your little lapdog, Sammy Guevara.
Sammy Guevara.
So then Daddy Magic says, enough of this. For 2 years, me and Parker had your back, but now you want to turn your back on us and join up with this piece of crap. And he tells Brian, he says, I should punch you in the face right now. And Bryan Danielson says, well, you know what, Menard? I've got some good news, Daddy Magic. I was told I can come out here and have a match with anybody who wanted to fight me. So why not we do the entertainer Daddy Magic versus the heart of pro wrestling, Bryan Danielson, right here, right now. And then we get that match.
Then we get that match. So Menard's in control early. Then Parker gets involved. Claudio comes down to ringside, hits Parker with an uppercut, puts him over his shoulder, and carries him away from ringside up the ramp and backstage.
Claudio's amazing.
An impressive feat of strength. And after that, Danielson hits a knee plus on Menard. Puts him in the label lock. Menard taps. Danielson wins. Mm-hmm. After that, we had a quick Mox video package. Juice Robinson, who was Mox's opponent tonight, had a couple things to say. He's like, hey, Mox, what happened last time we were in the ring together? Huh? Says, if I win tonight, I get to face Mox in DC for the title.
Yeah.
He's a free agent. That's what he kept saying on commentary. He's a free agent.
Yeah, he mentioned that in an interview or something. I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, he's a free agent. I don't know if you've heard, Steve.
I've heard.
He's a free agent?
Yeah. What wrestling promotion do we not cover regularly that isn't New Japan, where he just came from?
MLW?
Maybe he can go there. AEW's Darker Elevation. And then just stay there. That'd be good for him.
Well, I think you're one that would be good for you.
Oh, my intentions don't matter here. What's best for him? I'm just trying to think what's best for him.
You're thinking about what's best for Steve. There's a chance that we can own ourselves a wrestling promotion pretty soon. Maybe we should give the
vetoed.
former CJ Parker a call.
He towed.
Kevin, no less than Kevin Owens says that he's one of the best promos in all of wrestling. So.
Oh, and I'm sure Kevin Owens knows what he's talking about. He's a professional wrestler. I think that's great. Agree to disagree with Kevin Owens on that one. Anyways, after that, we had an MJF video package. And then we had the squeaky wheel. Wheeler Yuta storms to the ring, grabs the mic, and starts talking. Says, MJF, we've got a serious problem. And it's not that you got this whole new army of lackeys. It's not that you hit me with the Dynamite diamond ring. It's the fact that you had the audacity to put your hands on Tony Schiavone. After everything, he's like, you put your hands on Tony. I thought he was mad because he left the company. Now he's mad that, you shoved Tony. Tony's fine.
Tony is fine. But I guess the idea was, hey, Tony has done so much for AEW. How dare you?
I think he's trying. Doesn't Tony have some sort of role backstage?
Yeah, he's part of talent relations.
Yeah, right. I think he's just trying to suck up a little bit to Tony Schiavone. Anyways, he says, I think action should have consequences. What better punishment than facing me in my city? He keeps on talking. He says, but don't get your hopes up because Max likes to hide because Max knows he can't hang in the ring with me. And then he tries his best to cut what he considers a low-hanging fruit MJF promo. He says he's talking shit about the city, the Phillies not making the playoffs.
Not making the playoffs for 11 years, whatever.
Yeah. And he says, okay, now when he's done that, he says, now comes the part where we fight, where you get the ass kicking you deserve.
So then, MJF does come out and says, everybody get up for Wheeler Yuta, the hometown boy.
Woo.
He says, speaking of embarrassing, hi, Tony Schiavone. How's that body holding up, you fat old prick?
Oh, wow.
You're not going to do anything because you're a coward just like everyone in this arena, except for you, Wheeler. He details their past as we've wrestled all over this country and the indies. And I got to admit, you're one of the best wrestlers in the world. Problem is, you try to go one-on-one with me on the mic, and I had to spank you. Then he says, Wheeler, you claim you don't care. Wheeler claims that I don't care about this company, yet he's taking time away from the biggest draw in the company, and you're doing it by talking on the mic.
True, yeah.
And then he proceeds to talk crap about the Phillies and says, well, I'm doing the making fun of the local sports team. Guess what? I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I make more money than anyone else here. Everybody watching at home, I'm a multimillionaire. Wheeler says, I don't care about your millions or your Mets jersey. MJF is wearing a nice Tom Seaver jersey. If you don't fight me, I'm going to leave you a pool of your own blood. And you may not know this, Max, but bad things happen in Philadelphia. So Wheeler leaves the ring, and MJF's like, whoa, hold on. Ass boys, Colton, Austin Gunn, come up, have MJF's back. MJF says, I don't do brawls, but if you want to professional wrestle me, and he asks the crowd, hey, do you want to see us wrestle? Crowd, of course, saying yes. MJF says, no, we're going to wrestle next week. I'm going to go to my skybox and watch Mox be a terrible wrestler. Maybe I'll cash in my chip on the Blackpool Cuckold Club. And he says, ass boys, do my catchphrase. And
then they do his catchphrase for the people, right into the camera. After that, we had a Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal promo. Dutt says, Darby Allin acts like he's got a lot to prove. Lethal says, I'm going to break Darby's leg with a figure 4. Darby has something to prove, so do I, and I could do it on my own. He says, I'm going to go do it. I'm going to go do it.
Yeah. Yep.
There's
like a quick little bit of Darby.
Thing, right? Yeah, okay.
And he was like kind of imploring, say, hey, Jay Lethal, show me that you could do it yourself.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you this.
I guess Darby's going to get his way. What?
On Dynamite last week, Darby was bringing a body bag with somebody in it. Was that supposed to be Muta?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't look into it that much.
He
said he was going to somebody's funeral.
Yeah, but then he said to Grand Slam to Arthur Ashe.
Yeah.
So he was taking the body bag to Rampage.
Yeah, I know, but I assume the funeral was at Rampage.
Okay, whose funeral was it?
I don't know. I don't look that deep into these Darby Allin movies.
It was a good movie. I want to know what's going on there.
I prefer Ricky Starks. He's my AEW auteur of choice.
Yeah, no, that's a solid guy. They're different strokes for different folks.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they're
No,
both good.
obviously.
They're both good.
Yeah, they're both good. Ricky Starks is better though.
He is better, man. That dude is like the next fucking Kubrick, and
I
he's
know.
wrestling in 1 minute matches on AEW.
I know.
Get this guy behind a camera, Ricky.
I know.
Stop this wrestling fantasy world stuff and start making movies like you were born to do, man. Come on now.
I know. That stuff. That his little shorts are exceptional.
People they don't know what they're missing.
I know. So then we get Juice Robinson taking on Jon Moxley in a championship eliminator bout. So Steve's going to check out here. Mox won, of course. He had a Juice tap out to a cross arm breaker.
Yeah.
I don't really remember him working arm the whole match anyways. So MJF is watching the whole thing from his box. And then after Mox wins, Hangman comes to the ring, gets right in Mox's face, have a bit of a stare down. Then Page steps back and starts emptying out his pockets. He's getting ready to throw. So MJF has a mic. He starts piping in from the suites, tells him to settle down. The two of you aren't fighting each other. You're fighting to lose to me. Because once you two losers get to Cincinnati, I may just cash in my chip, become the new AEW champion because I'm a generational talent. While he's saying this, Wheeler emerges from behind him, and then throws him into a couch in the skybox. Hits some shots and then throws him into the crowd, and the security has to come and break it up.
I like this bit. I thought it was pretty good. I like Wheeler teleporting in behind him.
Yeah. For a while, Wheeler didn't really show a whole lot of personality. At least he shows some personality tonight.
Effort points? You giving him effort points? I'm cool with that.
Definitely.
I'll give him effort points. You got to start somewhere.
I mean, I felt like
somewhere.
the promo, for the most part, felt genuine and convincing.
It always feels like it's like it might be moments from going. The real danger here is MJF is a really good promo, and when you get him in there, if that's what you're gonna do, it's like you're gonna go toe to toe with MJF on the mic.
And I like that MJF brought that up, and you're like, really, you're taking time away from me?
Yeah, right. And you're doing it on the mic. Yeah. I don't know about that, because here's the danger you run is like the crowd turning on you, because they're going to be like, nobody wants to hear Wheeler talk. They want to see him wrestle. He's a really good wrestler.
He is a really good wrestler. And he talked, and I felt like that was like the maximum amount that they probably wanted to talk, and they did something cool in the skybox, and it is all fine.
The skybox was good stuff. I thought he probably should have like given him, being like, hey, shave 2 minutes off your promo in the ring. Anyways, after that, we had a Bandito Jericho video package for the upcoming Ring of Honor title match in the main event. And then Saraya shows up. She says, I'm back. And then the crowd chants, welcome back. She says, it feels fantastic to be back in the ring. Obviously, it's been a crazy road to get here. She says, I'm damaged but not broken. She says, I'm here to change this division. I think she was supposed to say, over there I was the Revolution, and here I'm going to be the Revolution. But she said, here I was the Revolution. I'm the Revolution. She says, and then she acknowledged, she says, it's really hard to talk out here. I'm nervous, which I can feel that, man. That's probably got to be really difficult.
Yeah.
She says, AEW is officially my house. The crowd started chanting, this is your house. She says, and then they sort of manufacture this thing where the camera people start telling her to wrap it up. And she says, hey, don't give me the time countdown thing. I'll leave when I'm ready. And she says, you know what? Screw it. Like it's impromptu. She says, let's bring all the women out from the locker room. And 5 people come out. We mentioned them earlier. So Toni Storm leads the face women's locker room, or at least those that are there. Of course, the Florida stuff is happening right now. So it's actually possible this is all that was available. That's
I think entirely
about
possible.
it. Yeah. Because Tony had said on Twitter, hey, if you guys need to stay home, stay home.
Yeah.
Tony comes out. She tells the crowd to make some noise. She says, when I say we're going to make a change, I promise we're going to make a change. Let me reintroduce these women to you. First, there's Toni Storm. She's finally being used to her full potential. She's the best women's champ AEW's ever seen, and I'm honored to be in the ring with you. And then Britt comes out. She has the heel locker room with her. She says, hey, look what we have. A shiny new toy. We've seen them come and go, but all you are is a catchphrase. Says, I don't know if you watch this show or not, but I'm the face of this division. I put my neck on the line for AEW, and unlike yours, my neck is actually strong enough to handle it. Woo. She says, yeah, that was rough. She said, "This is your house, right? You've made such a huge impact that half the people here don't even know how to say your name," which was kind of a lame shot. Saraya hits her back with a lame shot about her name rhyming with the word shit. And then Britt gets flustered by that, says, Tony Storm, I respect you. I don't like you, but I respect you. She says, but Tony just couldn't keep herself from all the problematic people in wrestling. She says, then you and your partner broke my nose. She says, but we're here tonight because you got quite a match on your hands against Serena Deeb. She says, you're just lucky you're not wrestling Jamie Hayter.
Because the crowd was chanting for Jamie.
They really like Jamie Hayter.
Yeah.
When she is terrific.
She is great.
And Tony Khan's gonna have to pull the trigger on that sooner than later, man. You don't want to wait on that too much. She says, even during the segment, it would have been nice to see a little bit of what seems to be brewing between Hayter and Britt, even though they keep on pulling back from it.
Definitely.
So anyways, she says, you're lucky you're not wrestling Jamie, but you'll get a shot after Deeb. She says, one misstep from you, Tony. You'll be hearing those words and new. And then Britt tells Serena Deeb to come to the ring. Saraya says, I haven't been in AEW long, but I do know that you and your crew like to get into some funky stuff. So I talked to Tony Khan. It's nice to have a boss who actually listens to me for once. Says, and then we got this made into a lumberjack match.
Yep.
Next match.
It was next, and it was pretty darn good. Tony Storm gets the win here. She hit a Storm Zero earlier in the bout, and I was like, okay, that's got to be it. No, Serena Deeb kicked out. So then Deeb hits a draping dragon screw. She goes to the top rope. Tony headbutts her, and then hits a Storm Zero off the second rope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That got her the win.
Yeah.
That was something else. I was not expecting that. I was like, oh, what's she going to do off the top rope? Holy shit.
I remember
a second rope pile driver.
When you saw Tetsuya Naito hit that on
Kota
Ibushi, you texted me. You're like,
I lost my mind when I saw that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the first Storm Zero, the regular Storm Zero was nasty.
Yeah, right. Dude, no, to me, nothing beats the hip. The hip attack is going to hurt somebody. That shit, those women like whip their heads back. Their heads just get whipped back so violently with that hip attack. Yeesh. Ease up a little bit, man.
Yeah,
clutching my pearls over here.
That looks like a rough move.
Oh, it does.
So Tony gets the win. She retains the interim championship. After that, we got an acclaimed interview. Bowen says, your new tag champs have arrived. Billy says, when you think it can't get any better, next week on Dynamite, it's National Scissoring Day.
Oh, there you go.
So bring your signs, so on and so forth. And Bowens adds they have an open contract to defend the titles on Friday on Rampage, and then Keith Lee steps in. And he says, Swerve isn't here because he's disgruntled, and after I watched the tape of our match, I could see why. He looks to Billy and says, you got involved. Mm-hmm. He turns back to the Acclaim and says, you guys are being carried.
Ooh. Trying to sow
he's not happy about any of that.
Trying to sow some seeds of division there. I don't think it's going to work.
Exactly. I don't think so either. Then we're backstage, and Butcher and Blade are arguing with Private Party. So Andrade's in the middle of it. He says, enough. I'm your boss. You work for me. And Mark Quinn says, well, if you're mad at anybody, you should be mad at Butcher and Blade. And Andrade, he just gets fed up, and he says, Jose, you deal with it. And Jose tells Private Party to shape up. So Butcher and Blade and Jose and Andrade, they all leave. Matt Hardy steps in.
The guy who was taking 30% of their paychecks.
Yeah, and says, I'm sorry that you're in this situation. You know, last week I realized that we're connected. They had that reunion at the Battle Royal, the Golden Ticket Battle Royal on Rampage. And he says, we've always been connected. Get out of your deal, and I'll promise this time we'll do it right.
Mm-mm. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. It's a step in the wrong direction. Dude, come on. These guys should be putting together wins. Like, it's been 3 years now with Private Party. They're phenomenal wrestlers. They're so much fun.
Remember they beat the Young Bucks in the first round of that of the tag team tournament, the first one?
Yeah, I know. Like, give them some wins. Same thing with Butcher and Blade. Like, goddamn, get them out of this. I'm your boss, freaking Andrade, and then Matt Hardy stepping in. Like, come on, this guy ripped you guys off. Why would they ever be like, oh yeah, that makes sense?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Kind of bunk. After that, I went to the kitchen for it was a minute, dude. Honestly, it's enough time
very short
for me to grab some popcorn, put it in the microwave. I was like, oh, Ricky Starks is coming out. I heard enough of his theme song, and then I was like, I'm gonna go watch this match. And then I came back, and it was already over.
Yeah, he won quickly, very quickly.
But After that, we had.
Well, he wanted the spear and the finisher against Eli.
Isom.
Excuse me.
Isom?
What?
Isom?
Isom.
Isom. Oh, I like that.
Eli Isom. Yeah.
And then we had. Well, no, I have not looked at the latest Ring of Honor results. The ones that that came out.
The EFED, yeah.
Well, I was the kayfabe ones. Yeah. I'm just going to start doing. I'm just going to start booking Ring of Honor. For our patrons.
Maybe instead of fun wrestling, I should just do Ring of Honor EFED.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. After that, we had Ring of Honor. Yeah, okay. I don't know what I was gonna say. Bandito versus Chris Jericho is our main event. Holy shit, what a good match.
Oh, did you talk about this Jungle Boy Luchasaurus Christian video package thing? I thought Jungle Boy's promo bits in this were actually fairly decent.
Yeah, it was okay. It was good. This is like the never-ending feud. Don't apologize. I skipped it. You were absolutely within your rights to talk about this. Yeah, Jungle Boy, he's fine. He's coming along.
He is coming along. Yeah. Reps. That's what it takes. Reps. Then we got our main event. Bandito, Chris Jericho. Bandito, hell of a wrestler.
Oh, my God.
Jericho having another career renaissance here.
Jericho is able to keep up with these dudes, and it's nuts because he's like a million years old. It's awesome. It's so great to see.
Jericho gets the win here. He has to cheat, pokes Bandito in the eye, pulls his mask down so he can't really see, looks for the walls, and Bandito just like on instinct rolls him up. Gets a 2. Jericho kicks out, puts Bandito in the lion tamer, but since Bandito can't see that he's close to the ropes, he doesn't know which way to go. And so he just kind of reaches out a little bit. It's not there. He's like, I guess I got to tap.
I can't do nothing about that. So what happened afterwards was hilarious. So Bobby Cruz announces Jericho as the winner.
Jericho weighs him into the ring. He's like, come
yeah. He's like, come here. He doesn't know why. Jericho says, the Ring of Jericho era has begun. I'm going to desecrate its legacy, and I'm going to beat every Ring of Honor champion in history. And he challenges Bryan to a Ring of Honor title match in Toronto, his home country. He said, I'm going to destroy every Ring of Honor champion, every Ring of Honor commentator, and ring announcer. And Bobby Cruz is like, what? Whoop! Judas effect to Bobby Cruz. Oh, I cracked up. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah. Patrick Oliva brings up a point here. Friggin' Jericho kicked out of all of Bandito's finishers as well.
The moonsault body slam, the X knee, and then the 21 plex kicked out of all of
them. Yeah.
Yep. Good match, though. It's a good match.
I have a question thread here, Larson.
Oh, yeah. Question thread.
Every single week on the Patreon at patreon.com/Stephen Larson, we leave question threads for most of our recap episodes.
We do.
What a great question here. Yellow Flash, instantly. Do you guys side with sports entertainment or professional wrestling? Would you join the Blackpool Combat Club or the Jericho Appreciation Society?
No, I'm all about the pro wrestling, man. Give me the pro wrestling.
Realistically speaking, who would you think you would probably be happier with? Jericho Appreciation Society or Blackpool Combat Club?
I mean, Jericho Appreciation Society had a pizza party, so there's that. I feel like Blackpool Combat Club spends all their time working out at the gym, which I like working out. I do, but same time,
you're in
not a whole lot of fun. They seem pretty mirthless in Blackpool Combat Club. I'm already mirthless enough as is.
Yeah.
I need more mirth in my life. Look, maybe not less. But that being said, pro wrestling.
I think that you and I think we both represent sports entertainment and professional wrestling, however you want to consider that idea. Mm-hmm. But that being said, I know you. You like to have fun. And you also have a limit as to how much like physical brutality you want to endure during your average day.
Yeah.
The water's fine over here in the Jericho Appreciation
Upper
Society,
limit
man.
of physicality is not very high.
Just imagine you're in the gym. You guys have been there for like 3 hours and you're just fucking spent.
Yeah.
And they're looking to go another 3. how would you communicate to Mox or Danielson that you want out for the day?
Here's the simplest way to do it. Either I'd force myself to vomit or I'd crap my pants. It's like, hey, Mox, I'm sorry. I had something bad to eat last night. I crapped my pants. And he was like, why is this happening every day, Larson? Like, I don't know, man. I got something's going on. Maybe I should go to the doctor. I have to miss more time. Is that cool? I'm after an hour, I'm exhausted here. Obviously, something's going on with my insides.
Yeah.
I keep pooping my pants.
Yeah, right.
Tired all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to take a leave, go to the doctor, get myself right. And if they can figure out what's going on, I could get dealt with. I'll be back and hopefully not poop my pants anymore.
Man, I'll just be texting you, dude. Come on over. We had another pizza. Luigi Primo's here, and he knows how to do balloon animals.
Here's the thing. I've learned that at my current age, I get 2 pieces of pizza without it killing my stomach. And then it leaves the same situation I was in the Blackpool Combat Club, Steve.
Oh, man.
So a pizza party isn't the draw you think it is.
I'm like, look, what Luigi Primo made a cheeseless pizza just for you, man.
That helps.
It's loaded with pineapple and some good sausage on it. It's a New Yorker pizza. Yeah, some jalapeno. It's a besta pizza.
That's more like it. That's more like it. David Matushek asked, do you think commentators should mention music botches more often on broadcasts? Yeah, they just start blaring Danielson's theme right before the match starts. The commentary starts laughing about it.
Oh, man.
But that's the thing I like about AEW's commentary team is they're loose, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes a little clunky and a little clumsy, but there's moments of gold there that make it all worthwhile.
Yeah. Xavier Gray has well, this one's kind of tricky. Let's say we find out next week that Saraya is cleared.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think she should be next in line for either the TBS or AEW Women's World Championship?
No, because I think they've been very clear in setting up something with her and Britt. They should do that first.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. He also has an NXT question, and he wants to know, who do we think should be the next NXT North American champion? Who should win that ladder match? We don't know we know what 3 of the participants, Wesley, Carmelo Hayes, and Or immense.
And then the winner of Axiom and Nathan Frazier 3 is going to be in there too.
I think Nathan Frazier.
Whoever wins, I think whoever wins between Axiom. Well, if Nathan Frazier wins, then I think that's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
The Andre Chase is facing Von Wagner for a shot to get in that. Chase might win that.
They've been booking Chase with some wins lately.
I know.
All that being said, put that title on Von Wagner.
He's got his title. He's a dumpster champion.
Hey, I'm Street North American champ.
You're telling me he wins the North American Championship and he has to vacate the dumpster title?
Ultimo Larson might have another. You might have another shot at it in WCW. Yeah.
Pass. I'm too busy crap my pants in the Blackpool Combat Club gym. Pass.
Oh, that's going on. I gotta make that TikTok. I was gonna go on TikTok. Let's see here. Alex Foster says Tony Khan has called you into his office. What were you two doing during Muffin Mania, and did you see anything?
We were recording our recap for All Out and reacting to CM Punk going off.
I'm not gonna take this fucking shit anymore. I'm not.
Dog Authority Figure says, I noticed Bryan Danielson and others will often have cupping marks on their back.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think of this therapy? I don't know enough about to make a sort of determination.
If you get your back cupped, would you poop your pants?
The question is, I guess the idea is that it's supposed to promote blood flow, right?
I don't know.
I think
so.
I think
from what I understand, the science behind it is like it's actual helpful, like whatever effects it might have, whatever beneficial effects it might have is sort of like up in the air as to if it's actually beneficial.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, if it relaxes my muscles enough, that it forces the evacuation.
I want to get cupped in my butt cheeks.
I don't know if you can do that.
No, really?
I don't know.
Oh God. Let's see here. I'll take a picture of it, send you guys. Blake Whitehouse, how many more months can Jade be left on Jade Island before people start to not care anymore?
Jade's a star. People are not going to lose interest in Jade.
Man, they have her on Rampage every week. Tonight was, hold on a second though. Let's be real here. Tonight was supposed to be the start of some big women's revolution. If she doesn't have some interaction with the leader of this revolution on Friday, like they're dropping the ball big time.
I mean, he also, I don't know if Jade's one of the people that weren't able to travel.
You're absolutely right. I keep on forgetting about that. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Absolutely right.
I don't know. But yes, you're right. I feel like at some juncture in the near future that yes, that needs to happen.
But even barring that, it has kind of felt like they consider the TBS title its own sort of division, its own thing. She is very quickly running out of people to interact with. And I don't necessarily, it's like the Cody Island seemed like the same cast of characters that he was burning through for that whole time. And he would never interact with a larger universe.
No.
I mean, Athena fought Jade, and then Athena crossed over to the other title, so it is a little bit different. But I do think that there is some validity here, and that there's a danger that it might become an island for her.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that aspect, but I think she's charismatic enough. She's good enough that I don't think people will lose interest in what.
I don't think she's the highlight of every Rampage.
Exactly.
I just wish she was on Dynamite too.
Agreed. Patrick Sparks, B-Man, says under their current gimmick, who from NXT would thrive on main under Triple H and who on main roster would be a flop in the new NXT?
Who from NXT? So, I mean, we've talked about this endlessly. Like Carmelo obviously would thrive on main roster. He's a shoo-in to do really good things. I don't know, man. Like I feel like Gallus would do well.
Yeah.
Ilya would do well.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think, is Braun Breaker can't miss?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
I still maintain they should Steiner up Braun Breaker.
I agree.
Make him more Big Papa Pump.
Because I feel like right now he's good enough for NXT, but you bring him up to main and he just kind of blends in.
I know. I agree.
There's nothing about him that really stands out.
I agree.
On main roster. He's not the wrestler that, the top tier wrestlers are on main roster, and he's not up there with the top tier personalities either.
Yeah. And then of course Von Wagner. He's going to be huge.
Dumpster champ.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.